Y'all, can I tell you about these Tecovas boots? I don't know if y'all know this, but these boots are handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable right out of the box. I know we buy everything online these days, but boots are something you really should get fitted for. And it just so happens Tecovas is based right here in Austin. So come shop with me at the Tecovas store on South Congress or the Domain. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, we get to talk about one of my favorite holidays. After the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863, freeing all persons held as slaves, it took another 2 years for that news to become a reality for enslaved people in Texas. On June 19th, 1865, Union troops spread the word and the holiday Juneteenth was born. In 2021, Juneteenth finally became a federal holiday. Now, it has a somber meaning, it always has, but it is also a time to celebrate, be in community, and come together and spend time. In Austin, Juneteenth starts this weekend. Learn more about it with me today on CityCast Austin, brought to you by our exclusive launch partner, Tecovas. It's Thursday, June 13th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. My guest today is Shanisha Johnson, a lifelong Austinite just like me. She's the PR and volunteer coordinator of the Central Texas Juneteenth Committee, which her family has led for decades. Welcome to CityCast Austin, Shanisha Johnson.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
What does Juneteenth mean to you personally, especially since you and your family have such a hand in it? What does it mean to you personally?
It's really about celebrating, one, more locally about coming together as a community, as an East Austin community. And then two, coming together as a people, as African American and Black American people. And then three, coming together as a city to celebrate such a significant event. So there are many levels to it.
I remember growing up, Juneteenth was huge for my family. So we would do the parade. We would immediately go to Rosewood Park. And then we stayed at Rosewood Park all day. So my family had a pop-up tent. We tried to get as close to the pavilion as possible or find a shade tree because, and it was an all-day thing. Like back in the day, how did you and your family celebrate Juneteenth?
Well, so we always showed up for the parade with our very colorful barrettes and our two-piece suits and the sandals. And we stood on the parade route and collected the candy, waved to all people that we saw. You know, we had pasted smiles. It's just a joyous occasion to smile all the time in an environment where people are happy to see each other.
You have to wait for the horses.
And we waited for the Masons riding on their little motorized.
Yes.
And also the drill teams.
Oh.
The marchers with the kind of like painted...
The guns
rifle,
or the rifle things?
Yeah, like stepping hard.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some favorites.
I like the Buffalo Soldiers personally, too. The dancers, and then, of course, the bands.
I mean, can't go wrong with kids and candy. The parade and the candy collection. It was like another one of those popular holidays all over again, but
chaos, pushing other kids
like us. Yes.
Pushing other kids out of the way. Yeah. Now, growing up in Austin, we're both native Austinites. We found out recently that we went to the same elementary school. Mm-hmm. Did you learn about Juneteenth in school?
Off the top, no.
I don't think I did either. I cannot remember Juneteenth being brought up while I was in either elementary, middle, or high school. And I'm sure maybe my parents tried to explain it to me at some point, but I think that it was just like a celebration. I didn't understand what we were celebrating.
It was just an unspoken like importance to being involved. It's just something you did.
Exactly.
No questions asked. I grew up going to these events. And then in college, Studying like African American history is when I really was able to dig into
Same.
the details.
I don't remember until I got to my African American Studies class at UT that I understood, oh, crap, like this is what this is.
Yes.
So what was that like for you, like when you learned about it in college?
I was like, this is part of my identity. Like it just was foundational. And so definitely became part of what I represent. It just helped me cement my identity.
It was the same for me. I went through a super, super blackity black phase after that because I
did too. I started reading books and digging deep.
I did. I was like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me? Like it really took me to this place of like figuring out what my identity was as a Black woman.
Absolutely.
It did not start until then. So yeah, I'm with you on that. When did you realize that not everyone knows about or celebrates Juneteenth?
My mother is a committee chair and she was already involved. And I thought, I absolutely need to be a part of this. So it wasn't in college that I started just volunteering. And then as I started sharing with people, oh, I'm busy that day. I'm volunteering. I'm out there all day. I started to realize that even people that I knew who were from other like Southern states were like, Juneteenth? And I was like, you don't know? So it's kind of mid-20s that I realized that it wasn't a widely celebrated event across America or even in the South.
So you mentioned your mom. Tell me how your family became involved in Central Texas Juneteenth.
My aunt, Tiffany Johnson, was first involved with Juneteenth and Greater East Austin Youth Association like 20 years ago.
Wow.
And then my mother joined soon thereafter.
Now, you mentioned the Greater East Austin Youth Association. Can you tell me or just explain a little bit how they are involved in Juneteenth?
Yes. You would consider Gaia the parent and Central Texas Juneteenth the child. We make sure that everything we do is in the interest of the Greater East Austin Youth Association, we being Central Texas Juneteenth.
At my former job, we're on the Zoom with you. And I just remember looking up and seeing your entire family on the Zoom. And I'm like, oh, this is like a whole family affair. What is it like to plan this every single year? Does it take over your family's house, an entire schedule?
It does. And it takes up all the extracurricular time that, not all, but a lot of the extracurricular time that we spend with family. My family knows if you say the word Juneteenth, they're like, oh, Shanisha and Tammy don't have time. They don't have time.
Don't ask them to do nothing.
Juneteenth? It's Juneteenth, y'all.
Don't ask them to do nothing.
Around that.
When did you get professionally involved with the organization?
So this is my second full year. Before then, I was just volunteering on the day of. But last year, kind of a transition happened in my life where my only child was getting settled as a young adult, and my work was really helping me to learn the ropes about engaging with the community. In a more formal way or organizational way. And then also I just got tapped on the shoulder by my mother who said, I need help.
Yes.
Said, I have time. And so it's just a natural entry into the planning side of the celebration.
Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the obstacles y'all have faced over the years?
Many of the folks on the committee have been involved for decades. All of these committee members have jobs, and many of them are city, state, county, and federal government employees. It really does take a lot of time to ensure that this celebration is successful. I can't say a lot of folks like to work for free. Right. But definitely a second-time job.
But that's real. Like you have to be like, I'll do this because I love this.
Yes. And because I care.
Yeah, you give with your heart.
Yes.
We'll be right back after a quick break. I'm back with my guest, Shanisha Johnson, and we're talking about Juneteenth. Do you have a favorite memory of Juneteenth?
It is more of a general memory. I feel like our lives get faster. There's always more to do. Our connection, our communication is more digitized now. And so I just like seeing folks that I might not have seen all year. It's been months in person.
Yes. My uncles and my dad used to call it like the cookout. It's the reunion, but with literally everyone. And so it seems so much more important now that so many Black people have moved out of the city because that's when everybody comes back in.
That's right.
Now, the Austin Black population has changed, so much over time. I think sometimes I feel like people come back to celebrate here, but do you think they do come back to celebrate here? Or are you finding that they're making new communities elsewhere?
We are definitely fracturing. That's just the honest truth. City demographic reports will tell you we're going east, due east and northeast and some southeast. And so that is where a lot of newer celebrations have popped up. Round Rock does pull thousands of people with their celebration, and that's where a lot of Black homeowners have gone.
That makes sense. At this point, I've lived all over the city. I've lived in Round Rock. I've lived in Pflugerville. I've lived in North Austin and South Austin. I've lived everywhere.
Same.
But I cannot imagine from just personally going anywhere else. And I'm also not a homeowner, so that might have something to do with it. But it's interesting to me that people would go anywhere else.
Just saying.
People would go anywhere else. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Come back to your stomping grounds. That's that has to feel good.
It feels good. So let's talk about this year. So we know we can expect the parade because, of course. What else can we expect this year?
One thing that we have discovered is that there are a lot of celebrations that have popped up over time. But most of those celebrations do not begin until our parade ends. No joke. Everyone comes out to the parade.
You do not want to be anywhere else.
Don't want to miss the parade. That's one major element that is holding on strong. We have really tried to expand the park celebrations. In previous years, even through last year, we've had carnival rides and gaming trucks and face painting, water balloon fights and things like that. And of course, always food vendors and marketplace vendors. Now, what we've done this year is really enhance our music lineup for the Park Festival. This year, we have brought on a renowned artist, which is K-Camp. We're also bringing in Urban Mystic, which is an R&B classic. He has a super unique voice, just soulful music. We wanted to just provide music that Black folks have had a major influence on or have really pioneered.
It's parade, it's chilling in the park, it's music, it's seeing people that you haven't seen in a long time. That's the vibe. Now, are there fireworks?
I have learned that there will be no fireworks this year.
Shanisha.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, hold on one second.
The organization that works with the city to provide the fireworks did not get their application in on time. Therefore, no permit has been approved.
Wow. There has not always been fireworks, right?
There have been fireworks for the last 4 to 5 years.
Okay. Is the hope to bring them back in the future?
Absolutely. The Juneteenth celebration, Park Festival, parade, and some years we do the 5K run walk, are all considered legacy event fee waivers. The city makes this celebration possible, and it is easy to say that because we're talking tens of thousands of dollars of permitting, event fees, park fees, safety personnel, street closures. And so in the future, we are going to work with the city to see if the fireworks can be included in those legacy event fees.
A legacy event is an event that the city decides is integral to the fabric of Austin. So the fireworks that you see on 4th of July, the fireworks that you see on New Year's Eve, there are several things that has just been decided that this is necessary. So I'm a little bit in my feelings about the fact that there are no fireworks this year. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And that's a great segue into my next question, which is, what do you think Austin can do better to support and uplift the Black community?
Well, one, make sure we have these fireworks at the Juneteenth celebration because it's a national holiday.
Officially. Officially.
Yes, we deserve our fireworks. I don't want to sound greedy, but I know that there's a neighboring city whose city parks and recreation department provides a majority funding for their celebration. If there's a way that the city and the committee can talk through how to better support this celebration.
That would be amazing. Other than making sure that, partnerships with the city of Austin are more streamlined, what is your vision for future Juneteenth celebrations in Austin?
I'm going to be honest and say it's hard to see past this year. I just would see even more people coming to celebrate back in East Austin. We want people to come back and celebrate. We want to see those tens of thousands of folks back at the park. There are at least 3 celebrations going on down the same street.
When you say the same street, you mean the same street of Rosewood, 11th Street, right? Yeah.
Yes. 100,000 here, 100,000 here, 50,000 there. Yeah, that. Just think of what it could be if we could have a larger street closures and really just make it a whole neighborhood celebration.
Now, because of gentrification, what I've noticed the past several Juneteenths that I love, it's like, little Black kids and white kids, like all kind of kids, just like playing together and getting candy together. Any tips for like the white community on how to support?
Support by joining the Juneteenth committee. Support by coming out. Support by being there and being in the space and immersing your kids in other culture. I would just say engage.
I want to circle back to what you said about joining the committee. I think that cannot be understated. There might be some people that feel like it's not their space.
Right.
And what you're hearing right now is that the help is welcome and the engagement is welcome. And you live in this neighborhood now. So come on and help. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. We need volunteers. We need people to work in shifts. Along the parade route, we do have police officers out there, but we also need volunteers at every barricade. And then shifts at the park, just really working with logistics, running materials, making sure that vendors have what they need or just things like that.
So one of my favorite memories about Juneteenth is just walking onto that park and figuring out what I am going to eat.
Understood.
Like, and so I want to talk to you a little bit about that. Like when you get there, what are your favorite places to eat and drink? What's the vibe when you get to that park? What does it smell, taste like, all that good stuff?
It smells like smoked goodness.
Yes.
It feels a little bit warm. And it looks colorful, the whole electromagnetic spectrum. So I enjoy like getting some shaved ice treats, something cold, then warm, saucy barbecue, and even returning for the last couple of years, I've been able to enjoy some Jamaican food, so some rice and peas and plantains and stewed yumness.
Oxtails. Oh,
jerk chicken.
Yes.
Yes. We've had loaded baked potatoes with all different kind of toppings.
I'm so excited.
I can't forget the different flavors of frozen lemonades and yeah.
Now, the parade, for everybody that maybe does not know, is on June 15th. If you don't do nothing else, come to that park and get some frozen lemonade.
Yes.
This has been a treat. This was so informative and so awesome. And thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
I cannot wait for Juneteenth.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. Make sure you share today's episode with someone who you want to see at the parade on Saturday. And don't forget to rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.